How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake. Today has just been one of those days where I feel like I've been up for hours doing things, but none of the things were really things that I set out or intended on doing. As you can see here, I went to Advanced Auto this morning, got 2 gallons of Shell 1540 Rotella because a couple days ago I got all of the necessary stuff, filters and stuff like that to do the 800-hour service on the Kubota L3901 tractor. I'm not going to do that today, but I needed to pick up the oil. I also picked up a AC recharge kit. That was my main focus for this morning. We're going to try and recharge the AC system in the Kubota mini excavator. But when I got home from getting my iced coffee and those items at Advanced Auto, I pulled up in my little commuter car here and saw all these weeds that were growing, and they've kind of been bothering me. So I quickly mixed up a little 1-gallon pump sprayer and sprayed basically the whole driveway with all the weeds. This is like the second time I've done it this season. Generally within a couple days, all this stuff will be brown and dried up. So let's head back into the woodyard and try and recharge this AC system. Now, if you guys watched the last video, you know that I broke the log lift to the Eastonmade wood splitter here, the 2228. I've since talked to Henry over at Eastonmade Parts as well as Andrew Easton, and they were super helpful. I called them like Friday right before closing. They said they were going to look into whether or not they had the part ready or not, and get back to me on Monday, which will be tomorrow. So hopefully they have the part in stock and they can, I can order it up and they can ship it out to me, and we'll be back in action with the wood splitter. But because that's down, my plan today was to come out here and just cut up a bunch of rounds, in preparation for the log splitter being fixed. And that's what I mean by I keep getting sidetracked. All these things that are sidetracking me are things that needed to be done. I just wasn't necessarily planning on doing them today. The air conditioning in this thing being one of them. So let's see if we can get that taken care of real quick. All right, guys, so here is my AC compressor, the low and the high. So we're going to unscrew this low fitting here, and that's what we're going to be hooking up to. Now it says to start up the machine, so we're going to start up the excavator, turn the AC on max blast. Gonna hit AC. Now see, right now it's blowing cold, but once, after a couple minutes, I noticed that it starts blowing hot again, which is why I'm thinking it might be a little low on the refrigerant. So I'm gonna come over here. It's running, the belt spinning and everything. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, so I just attached it, and it is in the low gauge there. So when it's on low, it says system low on refrigerant, continue to step 5. So you can see it's dripping water, and that too feels cold. But so now I'm going to shake up the can. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to pull the trigger. So now we're going to read the pressure. And the low pressure is at like 40. It said it would, kind of bounce around. But to read the pressure at the lowest, I think we're good. Because, yeah, we're in the green. So I'd say we're good. I'm going to remove that from there. I'm going to screw the cap back on. Let's go see what it feels like inside. All right, well, it's definitely blowing cold air for now. Out of all the vents, I certainly feel it. So I guess we'll just see if it continues to blow cold air. We definitely have more refrigerant left in the can. So I think we could do that, you know, a couple more times if necessary. I've never really done this before, so I was literally just following the instructions. But that was pretty simple, so hopefully that was at least a temporary fix. So you guys will notice here that I'm using the Mingo marker to mark up all of the logs that I just took off the log pile. And you'll see that I start marking all the logs from the same side. And it generally doesn't matter. I like to mark all of them from one side because then it leaves all of my offcuts on one side. And when I pick them up, the logs with the excavator, all those offcuts are on the same side as the basket that I put all of the offcuts. So it just makes my life a little bit easier. Here I noticed that the nozzle to the spray paint can actually came off. So it was not the Mingo marker's fault. I just think I didn't have the nozzle to the spray paint can pushed on all the way. And when it got hit by the little lever there, you can see it just fell out. Simple enough to fix, pop it back on, and we're good to go. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that if you mark all your logs from the same side, all of your offcuts will be on one side, and it makes cleanup a little bit easier and quicker. Happened again. So these two logs here are pretty big in diameter. They have some gnarly crotches on the end, but we just marked them all up with the Mingo marker, so I'm pretty curious to see how well the excavator picks up these two bigger logs now that I have these teeth on the thumb and on the bucket. Before, to pick up a log of that diameter, it was definitely a struggle. So I'd like to see, I'm thinking it's going to be a lot easier as long as I can position them properly. So let's see how it does. All right. Let's hop in the machine here. We will fire it up. Hopefully the AC blows nice cold air. Seems to be cold, at least for the moment. Turn on our thumb. All right. Well, let's see how we do. Now I'm just gonna try and pick up one of these big ones just because I'm pretty curious how it'll handle it. Oh my goodness, look at that. No problem. First try. That is awesome. That is really awesome. I am going to, let's see, I'm going to put it down here just because my marks weren't facing up, so I'm just going to kind of re-grab it like so. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. That's awesome. I would say that the teeth that Welder Chris put on are doing exactly what they were supposed to do. So let's hop out. Oh, and by the way, the AC is blowing nice and cold too. So now we can fire up the saw, get to cutting. So I'm really happy with how well the excavator picked up that log. I just want to show you. You can see here the teeth on the thumb are doing exactly what they were supposed to, digging right into that bark of the log. And then over here, the teeth on the bucket, as you can see, are dug in as well, giving it a nice firm grasp on that log. So that went super well. Oh yeah, it feels nice and cool in here, that's for sure. I'd say the AC recharge worked. Now, this is what got me in trouble in that last video, was stacking up the logs a little too close to the machine. So I think I'm just gonna try and fill up the little voids in areas. I don't want to, you know, make another mistake like I did last time. I got enough stuff to deal with without breaking things unnecessarily. Now, some of these pieces are kind of gnarly. Might be good candidates for the Eastonmade MS-324, you know, the mini splitter. So here we go again. Just no problem picking up these bigger ones. That is awesome. I like to see that. So we're just grabbing them, not even really having to fiddle or reposition them whatsoever. Really cool. Put this one right here. Looks like a good spot. Get to cutting. I definitely have a burr or something on the bottom side of my bar because the saw is throwing out really nice chips, but it's cutting on an angle, so let's see if we can fix that. Okay, so yeah, I don't know, this saw, it's throwing decent chip, it's just cutting on an angle, which leads me to believe that there's a burr or something on the bar. You'll notice I was cutting from the bottom up on one of those cuts, and it was cutting nice and straight. So again, leads me to believe that there is a burr on the bottom side of the bar. Oh yeah, there's a burr. I can even see it. Ooh, this bar is hot. Hot, hot, hot. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I tried zooming in, but in this section on the bar, it's brown, and this was facing down. In this section, you can see it's you know, more clear. So I think there's a burr here, and you can even kind of feel it. If you take your nail, it gets, you hear that? Your nail kind of gets stuck on it. So we're going to take a flat file here and try to fix that. Now this is a good thing to do, just, you know, routine maintenance on your bars too, to make them last a little longer. When you file it down, you want to use a flat file, obviously, and you want to go at a very minimal approach angle, like almost flat. That way you're not taking off metal, you know, going that way and thinning off the edge, you know, where the chain rides. You just want to go very minimally like this, and now you'll feel that burr is gone. Now we're going to flip it, and yeah, on this side you can even see the burr a little bit. Again, if you hear that. Now that should fix our problem. Now the bar was upside down, so that while it's off, I'm just going to put it back on right side up. I always flip my bars around so that they wear evenly, and we should be good to go. She's cutting nice. It was throwing some real nice chips. I don't know if you can see here, but you know, nice long saw chips. So you know it's sharp. It just had that little burr on it, and the way that you know that your bar has a burr is that if it feels like, it almost feels like the chain is coming off the bar, which is kind of what's happening, because that burr sticks out just enough that it'll grab on the wood, you know, that you're cutting outside of your actual cut, like your kerf, and it kind of pulls the bar in one direction. So it's not always an issue with your chain, but sometimes it's a lot simpler and you just got to file down your bar. So problem solved. All right, guys, this is gonna be the last log of the day here. This is a big red oak log. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16-inch, rounds long. I don't know how big it is diameter-wise. I'd venture to guess about 20-inch diameter on the big side and maybe about 15-inch diameter over here on the small side. This is a big log. The tractor, picked it up okay. The excavator obviously picked it up all right, but swinging over the sides of the tracks got a little heavy, so I kept it real close to the ground. But, without these teeth here, I would not be able to pick up this log. You can see the teeth are sunk in on the bucket side as well as on the thumb side. And that goes for both sides, of the bucket. You can see, it is really gripping in, and I would not have been able to lift up this log without those teeth. So if you have a mini excavator like this and you're having issues similar to the way I was, where you couldn't pick up larger diameter logs, just welding on some teeth like this is a pretty simple, easy, cheap solution to that issue. So let's get this last log cut up and we'll wrap things up out here. Well, guys, I think that is going to about wrap up today's video. We got a nice bit of wood cut up, some really nice diameter stuff. Definitely stuff on the larger side, which is nice because it's just going to produce all the more, split firewood when it comes time to actually split it. This red oak that I cut up, those last couple logs, and including that really big one, I mean, this is really nice stuff. Nice straight grain. It's gonna make some ultra premium firewood once it's all dried out and seasoned. And, once I get the Eastonmade log lift fixed up, I will have a nice bit of wood to, keep me busy. Now, I got a couple comments in the last video saying, the splitter's not broken, Jake. You can still split wood with it. And yeah, I mean, I know I can still split wood, but I don't want to have to pick up every round, especially because it's been like 95 degrees with like 85% humidity the past week. So thank you for those of you that pointed out that I am still able to split wood, but I'm just not looking to pick up each and every round, especially because a lot of this stuff is larger diameter. I am super happy with the way, obviously, that the teeth on the bucket and thumb are performing, really made life a little bit easier. And something that I also noticed is that when you pick up a log, I used to have to make sure that I was like dead center or as close to the center as I could be. That way it wouldn't, like teeter-totter and kind of, fall when I started cutting rounds off either end. Now with the teeth, because they kind of grip into the log, I find that I don't have to be quite as precise. And depending on the size of the log and, where I pick it up, I don't necessarily have to go from the left to the right and cut, down in the middle. I can cut like 2 or 3 off the left, and the grip of the teeth will still hold the log straight and not have it, tilt off to the side, which is really nice. Once I filed down the burr on the saw, I also had absolutely no issues with the 500i. So for those of you that might think that your chain needs sharpening or something, it's definitely worthwhile to take a look at your bar and file down any burrs that might be present. So that's gonna wrap this one up, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, click the subscribe button. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to hit the lake. You can tell that weed killer's already working. Got some brownage and shriveling of the leaves. So, great success.